to the Shadowcast, the podcast talking about all the things hidden in the shadows. How bees y'all today? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing swell out there. Okay, so this is my first time I'm going to be actually recording with my mic hooked up to my Pixel phone here, which I can thankfully do thanks to having USB-C on this Pixel phone, unlike the iPhone. So, it's nice to be able to see if I can do this. I want to see if if I can carry less things with me when I travel, that would be great. So I'm always looking to do this. Yeah, we're gonna get started in a second here. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Please like the video, leave a comment, and share the video as well, especially if you find something helpful in today's episode. Hello. Today's episode of the Shadowcast is here. How are you? I am the Living Shadow, here with your hidden details. Ooh. Okay, so for those of you who watched the video, if you don't know, there is a video version of this podcast on the Shadowcast the youtube.com/the Shadowcast podcast. Apparently they're talking about putting video on Anchor and Spotify for podcasts and stuff, so you might see me there as well. Who knows? But yes, so today I wanted to talk about, it was just my birthday recently, a couple of days ago, so happy belated birthday to me. Thank you. I know you were just thinking it. How great of you. Let me take a puff. Hold on. Ooh, sorry, Clipsy. My cat got hit with that one a little bit. So hopefully y'all can hear me okay as I'm trying to use the mic through my phone this time instead of through the iPad as usual. So we're gonna see what that looks like or sounds like in post. Excuse me. I'm not a professional. It's just me by myself trying to do everything. So don't come for me, please. But it was just recently my birthday. For those who care about the number, it was 28th. I've been very open with my age on here. I feel like only reason why I'm really make a point of saying that one is because lots of things have come up in the last year. Some of you, if you listen to this, may know about some things. There's been other things that I have not publicized or whatever. Different things happen in life. Not everybody knows everything about your life. Okay. I'm a Scorpio, so part of me is just y'all know I just said my birthday, so it's not just you gotta be secretive about some shit. What I wanted to talk about was 7-year cycles. So this is something that I really I knew we go through cycles, right? We definitely go through cycles as human beings. Some people may believe in that, some people may not. They could be karmic cycles, anything like that. I'm definitely a person that I believe we go through certain type of cycles, or we go through some sort of repeating patterns until we learn a type of lesson. That's definitely me. That's definitely my beliefs. From what I've discovered, because of this year, was the 4th year of a 7-year pattern. And from researching it, there's 2 7-year patterns to worry about. There's Uranus and there's Saturn. Uranus patterns are different than Saturn patterns or cycles to break, but they are 2 different 7-year cycles. From when I was looking up, there are different other cycles as well, but these are the 2 I kind of want to talk about in this specifically because these are the 2 I feel like I'm going through or have went through. Uranus not so much, but because Uranus went retrograde during this last part here, it is I felt like my individuality was a little bit off as well as a whole bunch of other things. But as we're talking about that, it's when I was trying to, it's a big global change, or it's a big change for Uranus for a lot of people, and it affects them in different ways because it is that planet. But that is a set Okay, so there's two separate, these cycles run in two separate lanes, basically. This is like Astrology Simplified for those out there who need it. Okay, this one might actually end up on the archive as well. But this is, I guess it's just like you finding yourself every 7 years, or like you changing and trying to fit with fit the version of you that fits with the time that we're in. As Uranus is really really kind of hard to describe, because that one is not a personal one. That one, like, Uranus is going to move into Gemini in 2025, so we'll feel that effect then. We felt the retrograde. You see a lot of different things with government. It's going to go right back. So government again is going to have a big shift, and like authority shifts, and who has power over what, and what is supposed to be like leading us in what direction, things like that. That changes every so often, and a lot of people feel these changes, but they don't know what to relate them to. Me personally, astrology to me has been the way to relate this planetary energy, or these energy waves that come from these different places and things throughout all of our universe, and how it hits us and affects us differently. What I want to talk to you guys about today, which is the one I think a lot of people face, and they may not even realize that they face it, but at the same time, it's also a very big deal, is Saturn. So we talk about Saturn. For those who don't know, Saturn rules time. Number one, there's time, karma, things like that, Saturn is also that masculine energy, this Chronos energy, that's that the devilish energy. That Saturn is also like that Capricorn energy, right? Like, Saturn is this energy of, it's kind of like that boogeyman energy. I don't know what else to tell you, because that's what it kind of is like. It's like that boogeyman energy, or that frightful energy, because it's that disciplinarian energy. It's energy that scares you because they want to like force you to do right type energy, right? So we have these 7-year patterns, right? A lot of people talk about a Saturn return. A Saturn return happens when Saturn comes back in your birth spot, which for me is like currently happening. So for those people in astrology, this is why I'm kind of doing this. This is like me documenting my Saturn return or whatever, I guess. So there's that for the people who need that. But what I've discovered, Saturn is also for growth, right? It's disciplinary, but it's for growth. It's karma, it's for growth. It's for, what you put out is what you get back. It's so you can learn these lessons, right? Uranus is kind of is where you kind of set up which lessons that you need to learn, and then these 7-year Capricorn ones are like the ones that are like showing you the lessons, basically, right? So when you're 7, right, you start questioning authority, logic, linear thinking. This is like first grade. Now, if you guys remember, I talk about these moments in my life. I talked about knowing how to do third grade math in the first grade. And this is like first grade, kindergarten, depending on where you are in your life, right? But you see how they start that journey. This is the age where that's like the age where they decide, okay, it's time for you to start learning how to think, right? They send you off to school. This is all lined up with astrological things for us as humans that we have degraded over time, because we don't believe in the very thing that birthed the idea that is supposed to help us, right? We've lost faith in the thing that's supposed to help us and how to work it the right way. But that's where that age, that type of linear thinking, where they want you to think linear, where they want you to think a certain type of way. It's kind of that coaxing and I talk about Capricorn, that Saturn energy also being like, how do I put it? Like cattling, like trying to get you all to do, like trying to get everybody to do the same thing, right? And that's why I say this is a big difference between this and the Uranus energy, because Uranus energy is all about you doing the thing that works best for you. So with these two cycles, like there's 2 cycles, but they do 2 different things, right? But if you think about the age 7 is right when that starts. When they send you to school, where they want you to start thinking a certain type of way, when they start putting you in a room, when they start teaching you certain things, it's so we can get like collective information, right? Now, however they kind of do that and wherever they do that, because different places teach different things, I'm not going to get into all that or whatever on this particular episode, but I do want to point that out, right? So then we have at age 14. I really hope y'all can pick me up on this mic like this. So this is age 14. Questioning identity and influence. And this is where, okay, again, so the first 7 years of your life, you have this cycle. Generally, for a lot of people, your family, your friends, whatever is on TV, whatever, your parents kind of decide what to show you at that time, right? And then when you get into school from 7 to 14, it's okay, so now you've been exposed to what other kids see, what other kids have going on, not just the kids that are handpicked by your parents, but other people what the school has going on. And again, whatever, you may have different interests and tastes as far as media and news. You may not be watching little kid cartoons, at 14. You could be, could not be, not judging either way. But I'm saying that this is the type of thing, right? So you start questioning who you are in all of this. At age 14, puberty, people, I'm going through changes, all that kind of stuff. But this is, again, that Saturn change to push you and you feel it, right? A lot of people, it hits when it hits. So this is like me, whatever, doing my pre-warning to tell y'all what it's like out there for y'all who don't know. Okay, but that's when you start questioning yourself, what you influence and how much has influenced you. I know for most people, you mostly question what has influenced you, and you start questioning yourself. And a lot of people that I know have not questioned what they put out as much. Some people do, some people don't. Whoever you fall on that spectrum is you. No judgment either way. But I'm just saying this is very much a thing that has happened. That's that age again. So that we were talking first grade. This is the 7th, 8th graders, right? So these are the kids that my mother used to teach in school. These are the problem kids. These are the kids who are going through that change and going through that time period, right? So this is the problem. This is the kids that people oh, these are so hard kids, because they're really questioning and they're not just taking whatever you tell them. And this is probably the biggest problem for a lot of people, because this age is a big one for a lot of people, because so often so many people are okay, so they get mad, adults, parents, authority figures, everybody seems to get mad because you're not just automatically doing what they want you to do. And again, a part of this is because of that 7-year-old logical thinking that they try to drill into you earlier, but they don't want you to use it. Right? They want you to think logically, think critically, point out holes and stuff, except when you point out the holes and what they got going on. Then all of a sudden it's a problem. So this is where it gets to be really, really hard, because, again, questioning that influence, questioning the parental influence, whether it's good or bad, this is that or anything else. And they don't want you to question certain things. They only want you to question this and that, whatever else. But you got to question everything, right? Then we got 21. Okay, 21, 21, 21. That's 7-year cycle. Okay, so again, at this 21 is a huge different one. This one is way, way, way more personal. And again, these are all personal, which is so funny, because everybody's going to experience these. Okay, so with this and Uranus, they're really, really backwards. Okay, I don't know how to explain this, but what you may be facing as a dilemma for the Uranus cycle is going to be more individual. But it happens at a collective time together, if that makes sense. So, everybody's individuality gets questioned around the same time, right? It's that type of thing. Where for Saturn, for your own, it's your own personal karma, or your own personal herd think, mind think, whatever. But it happens to everybody throughout the same ages, but through different areas of their life that they need to work on. So they're both personal and impersonal. Everybody goes through this stuff, but they go through different things depending on what they need to do and learn and things like that. So when we get to 21, this is when you get in line with what it is that you want to do for the most part. This is what people think, you leave college and you're ready to go start your life. That's kind of what people think. Like, oh, you're graduating or you're getting ready to graduate college. You've been through your school for everything like this. You got your degree. You're finna go start like doing your life and things like that. But this is the one to me that is so personal and different for everybody. The 21 one. I just also to me when you get introduced to temptation was when you can drink technically, right? You get introduced to something that can you're on your own. You're no longer sheltered by it's like a gatekeeper type of thing. Just that like this 21 is not different in a bad way, but again that's the end of a cycle. That's the end of like someone else telling you what to do. And so that's a huge one for people, but it affects people in different ways. Because especially in the way that the world has changed, because the way the world has changed is that for a lot of years, if we look back in history, um, people may not even live too long past 21 for some of the things that we talk about and read about and go back to do. Um, you know, it, our lifespans have been getting longer. People are now living to 100. We think of that wasn't a common thing, years ago. So this is kind of is different. They have personal growth transformation, but this is where you're supposed to like align with what like this is kind of when you get told what you want to do, or this is when you decide, okay, I'm just gonna start doing what I want to do with my life. I'm gonna start, taking responsibility for my life and going where I want to go with my life and do like it's like that's the 21 cycle. It's kind of when you start doing that, right? That's what that's supposed to be. But again, I feel like that one is so different for so many different people. And again, it's that third one, right? So it's like you've had all these different influence, all this different stuff going on. And again, the way that the world works is different because there's some people who, at that one, they would decide what college to go to or have already decided or what major or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they're going for like that thing and they go to school for like 15 million years to get like, a degree. And there's also the people who go and do something else who may pursue some artistic thing or some other kind of career, but it's like they start to like pursue a career. It may not even be a career either. It's like they start to pursue living their life in a certain type of way. You know, what does life mean for me? Type thing. And then we get to 28. So this is the one I was talking about. This is the Saturn return one, right? A lot of people, it can happen either when you're 27, 28, 29. It's around that range. It's before you get to 30 usually. But like it's like around that range. For the 7-year cycle, 28 is like, like you feel it, okay, all the way around. You feel it. The upgrade. Oh my God. Growing up. Oh Jesus. Help me, Lord. How we gonna do this? Gotta rethink your whole life again. And apparently, from what I'm seeing, it's like that's kind of what happens is that after apparently, like you rethink your whole life in these areas, but at age 7, there's the authority. There's like how you think logically. Age 14 is apparently like where your identity comes from, like what are you like where are you drawing things from your source. 21, what do you want to live your life to be? And then 28, like how do you grow up and mature in the world? I feel like it's like how do you keep your innocence but still like be responsible? That's what I feel like is really the big thing. And we keep going through it. There's gonna be so many of these, but cycles in life in general. But it's like, oh my gosh, you have to rethink how you do your life. Like, okay, I get it. Like, I don't want to be on some stupid shit. Like, I want to have fun, but I don't want to, act. I don't want to say like act younger or act immature, but like I don't want to like. It's like I want to have fun and still be responsible. Like, still get my shit together because I don't want to be fucked up out here. But like, I still want to have fun. Like, I still want to be happy. I still want to be a happy person. Like I still want to like enjoy. I still want to like enjoy life, but I don't want to like ignore the things I'm supposed to be doing as well or ignore this stuff because it comes back to bite you. And I feel like this is the time where a lot of stuff when you were younger may come back to bite you. You know, these cycles, it can either get either easier or harder for you depending on what you're doing. Like that can come back to bite you. What you need to learn from, these are these growth lessons. What you need to learn from. So for me, as I'm learning these, even not even that they exist, because you feel like, I feel like people feel stuff. You can feel a change. Like you can feel how um someone, even if they're a couple years older than you, like you can feel sort of like their spirit age, if that makes sense. Like you kind of feel their spirit age. You can feel if someone is an old person with a young spirit, and you can feel if someone's like a young person with an old spirit. I feel like that's a pretty common thing. People know what I'm talking about if I say it like that. So when we're going through this type of stuff, it's definitely like, I don't know. It's just understanding how this works. Like understanding that you, even though your body may be one age, your soul may feel like another one, or you may feel tied to like an older energy at certain times for certain areas of your life. You may have been through, this cycle a billion times in one area of your life. In another area of your life, you may have just been on the cycle for like 2 days or something. Like, who knows? Well, I mean, you would know, obviously. I'm hoping, praying. Oh, please tell me you would know what, where you are in your own life. If not, we're all about getting self-aware over here. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Being aware this is going on, being aware this where you might be tested in some things, if you have a birthday coming up, or it, or if anything like this, then you'll be aware, you might be tested in some things to see what you leave behind, what you leave behind. There's some things I had to leave behind. It's I don't know, things like ideas and mindsets I had to leave behind, basically. Um, I don't know if I should talk about this here or not. I like crypto. I'm trying to learn crypto, more about crypto. I don't know a lot. This is a new thing. So, for me at least, it's, I heard about Bitcoin when it first came out, and I didn't get on it then because I didn't know how to mine it and do all this kind of stuff on my computer, blah, 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 blah. It got to be complicated for me. Okay. I can do some things. I know a little itty bitty bit of code. It ain't like I'm not gonna sit there and say I'm a code master and nothing like that. I know a little Java, okay. I know a little C++, a little bit, but just a little bit now though. Be trying to make it seem like whatever master hacker over here, because that's sure not me. I wish I could be. Lord knows. Anyway, point being, so I was trying to figure out how to do, I'm seeing that's blowing up a lot, easy. So I do invite people, if they have not done anything like that, to research, look that up, because that is been growing, I'm a Dogecoin person, DOGE, Dogecoin, hi. That's like my little one I like, because it's the cheapest one to get right now, at least for me, and easy one to do. So I will recommend going out there. If you are looking into doing something like that, just research. Do your own research if you want to, but that's where I like so far. It's the one that's I'm enjoying. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was, let's see, what else was there? There was something else I wanted to talk about. Hold on, let me go back on my notes. Uno momento. Yes, okay. So this is the other thing too, is that being a people pleaser for this, I feel like is another thing that pops up for the 28 thing, the adulthood thing. I feel like that really does pop up a lot, is people pleasing, and even if it's not the 28 thing, I feel like this is like a karmic cycle that's popping up for people repeatedly, is this. And it's not even like, I feel like it's things that you don't know you do. That like when if you're aware of when you're trying to be nice to somebody, that's one thing. But there's things that people don't know they do. You know, like when you're thinking about, oh, what is this person doing, and you know this person is not thinking about you. And I'm not trying to be like, but it's like that type of thing where you're like, okay, I need to focus more and be more responsible and care more about my own life. You know, how some people will watch, like, and I'm not saying it's wrong to watch other people, because Lord knows I want y'all watching me over here. Hello, Devin, there's Living Shadow on the Shadowcast. Hi. I want y'all watching me. But, I thank you if you do, and if you watching the video, please like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Gotta get my eyelash out here real fast. Gotta get my eyelash. What I'm understanding is that these cycles, especially I believe this one in particular, is it's like the first reinvention cycle of your life. Like, but well, I shouldn't say it's not the first one. I feel it's the first one that you're like completely in control of, if that makes sense. Like, even the 21 one, it's like, yeah, kind of, but not really, because you're not informed as well as to what you want, right? Because that's when you're going to go doing stuff and trying stuff out to try and figure it out. The 28 one, I feel like, is when you're, well, at least for me, when I'm experiencing it, now that I know what I want, now how do I put all this stuff together and, like, put it all in the machine and mix it out and spit out a new life? It's like, how do I do that? And I'm still kind of figuring it out, to be honest. Like I said, it's happening to me currently. It's not like I can draw on my past life energy and try and figure out what I've done before, but trying to craft something new. So, yeah. I mean, you can't just, I don't know, I'm not trying to pull the same old rabbit out of the hat. It's time for a new rabbit. Time for a new trick. Time for something new out here. Time for a new little razzle dazzle. We got new things going on. Even if we're going through the same spiritual lessons, the way to teach this stuff is becoming new. Hello, there's got a video, there's a podcast now. Hi. Other things going on. So, yeah. I guess what I want to say for this basically is that don't fear a Saturn return. It might be scary, but don't fear it. If you understand what you're facing, what you do for yourself, and spiritually how you treat people, and not even other people, but just how you treat things in general, how you spend your time, because again, time is a big one in this. Saturn does rule time, so how you spend your time is a big deal. Whether it's spending your time just talking shit about people, or spending your time trying to improve yourself or your life or everything like that, that matters. And when this stuff comes around, that matters. So don't spend too much time doing some bullshit that you don't want to, look back and think, oh my gosh, because this is when those reflective periods happen. People go back and look at their lives, like people talk about like a midlife crisis. That's like the 35 one. Like that's the one that's after this. Okay, I'm not trying to get a crisis, but like that's what that kind of is, where people again do this reflective energy. So if you spend your time doing all the stuff that you're not happy with yourself doing, or regretting yourself doing, that's what's gonna pop up in these. So that's kind of what I'm trying to like inform people, whatever. But again, like the 35 one, whatever. What's after 35? 42, 40. This is when people start having these crisis ones, and like menopausal ones and whatever else ones, like people start having these things go on because they are regretting or this is that, and it comes back. So it's time to like fix this stuff. They're out there saying, and I'm not saying fix it in a like, oh, just go fix your life, but more like, it's time to like address these things that you've been, if you've been putting something off, it's time to address it. If you've been putting on some, or way you spend your time, it's that moment that comes along and says, okay, it's time to address this. Or look at where you've been spending your life for the last few years. What have you been doing? It's that voice that comes around, that Saturn voice, that Chronos voice, that devil voice, right? But it's not really technically that bad. See, I'm stuttering. It's not really bad, but it scares you because you don't want to admit that, like, you know, like, I don't want to admit that I spent a lot of time doing things that I don't consider myself to be productive. They may be productive in other ways, shapes, and forms that I haven't put to use yet, but I don't want to admit that I, you know, regret spending my time doing certain things and this is that. But that's how this is. That's just what, you know. And I feel like that's what this kind of energy kind of brings up and says to people, and people think it's so wrong because they don't want to admit they're wrong. It's that pride thing. People don't want to admit that, oh, I wasted some years of my life, or I didn't listen when I should have. And people don't want to admit they're wrong about something. But I mean, this is that time. Like, you know, don't let it be horrid. Don't let it ruin you. Because you can always fix something, right? We talk about different cycles and things like that. You can always pick up and fix something. So that's what, excuse me, this stuff comes up. And I'm talking about it because you can fix it before it hits where it hits bad. Because this is when these cycles, these like 7-year ones, are when some of this stuff hits home hard. And you gotta like, oh shit, like, you know, um, that's that fourth house energy. Like, it hits home hard. Like, okay. Even if you look on the Wheel of Fortune, the it has the IOC on it, the for the um fourth house, like your foundation. Like, when that karma comes spinning around for that Wheel of Fortune, it's gonna hit you in the home, in the foundational sector. It's gonna change you. I don't know how to say it. I know this is not like a thing, but this is how I used to describe what I'm talking about. And for those who were on the video, you see what I'm talking about here. And I believe it's on here. It shows it. Yes, it does. IOC at the top here, underneath the T. That's the fourth house little symbol there. So that will tell you something right there of how this stuff hits. All right. I do want to implore you all to, or encourage you, I guess I should say, encourage you all to check out my site, theliving.shadow.me. Links in the description box below, or wherever on your podcast player. I do want to encourage that. Also, follow me on Wisdom. I don't know if you guys have ever. It's a new app. It just started. I gotta figure out. I think I'm the Living Shadow on Wisdom, but it's gonna go live on there for some talks. We're gonna see what that goes like. I naturally expel and repel toxic energy. Yes, and I will probably let y'all know what goes on there. So this is my Shadow Spells deck. Naturally expelling and repelling toxic energy. So this is, again, that training yourself to get rid of that toxic stuff, get rid of these toxic cycles. I'm deeply connected to my higher self. I am thankful and express gratitude every time I breathe. Showing and expressing my emotions gives me inner strength. So again, don't be afraid to say this stuff, or if you're going through some of this stuff, you know, don't be afraid to, you know, share your story out there. I am on Twitter, The Living Shadow on Twitter, if you do feel, you know, like you want to tweet or whatever, or say something. What else? Yeah, I know we're getting through this energy, but if anybody else is going through this Saturn return now, or has previously gone through it, I would love to hear your stories as well to that. So, you know, let me know. Well, this has been the Shadowcast. I'm the Living Shadow. Love y'all. Be blessed. Assassination. Yes, I think that's a good episode. Okay, and this one is going to be calling it Shadow Saturn return. Yes, 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 yes. Do click the link in the description box below. Follow me on all the things on the social media if you would so like to. Also, if you are looking into that cryptocurrency, I do have a link down there for Coinbase. So, if you want to send a little tip this way, or, even figure out a way to get started on that, you can look on into that over there. So, yeah, stay blessed out there, y'all. For real, for real. Assassin. My eyes not this red, y'all. It's the glasses. But, assassination. Bye.